What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age!
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we'll be looking at superhero sequels that didn't fly nearly as high as their predecessors. Since bad prequels and reboots could make up their own list, we'll only be including direct sequels here.
It worked.
Number 10, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. While the first two Ant-Man films were relatively small-scale adventures, the third entry in the franchise tried to up the stakes.
Wait a minute. You're sending a signal down to the quantum realm?
Yeah.
Shut it down now.
Janet.
Why would we shut
What's
it?
wrong?
You have to turn it off!
Quantumania sent the Ant family into the quantum realm to face the MCU's newest big bad, Kang the Conqueror. Many critics pointed out the sequel's subpar special effects, and VFX artists who worked on the film admitted that Marvel's tight deadlines and constant story changes forced them to rush many of the film's visuals.
I guess that's not a surprise.
Fans were also disappointed by the depiction of the iconic Marvel villain MODOK as a comedic lackey for Kang. All of this made the film both an underwhelming sequel and a rocky starting point for Marvel's fifth phase.
That was... I don't know what to say.
Number 9, Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. Marvel's first family has often struggled to make the jump to film, and this sequel is no exception.
Hey guys, new uniforms just showed up. What do you think?
I think there's no way we're wearing that, Johnny.
What do you have against capitalism?
While the first Fantastic Four film in 2005 was a fairly straightforward origin story, Rise of the Silver Surfer introduced audiences to the cosmic messenger and his world-devouring master Galactus.
You've been busy, my friend. Your talents are impressive. Can you understand what I'm saying? Together, we could be unstoppable. Anything would be ours for the taking.
The sequel retained most of the issues that people had with the first film, including schlocky dialogue and an uninspired story. However, Rise of the Silver Surfer has the added insult of ruining one of Marvel's most iconic villains, Galactus, by depicting him as a giant space cloud devoid of personality.
I will no longer serve. This is the end for us both.
Number 8, Glass. M. Night Shyamalan blew our minds when he revealed that his supernatural horror film Split was a surprise follow-up to his superhero drama Unbreakable.
This is like that crazy guy in the wheelchair that they put away 15 years ago. And they gave him a funny name, too. What was it?
Mr. Glass.
After a twist like that, it was only a matter of time before these characters would face off. Unfortunately, the third film in this surprise trilogy turned out to be a complete mess.
I am here to discuss the possibility that you are mistaken.
Glass wastes its all-star cast by locking most of them in an asylum for nearly the entire runtime, wondering if they actually have superpowers. The problem is, we already know from the first two films that they definitely do. Top it off with a totally anticlimactic final fight, and it's enough to make us wonder if this series would have been better off without a grand finale.
How come you didn't know how it was going to end?
Oh, Mama. This is not a limited edition. This was an origin story the whole time.
Number 7, Kick-Ass 2. The first Kick-Ass film offered a blood-soaked deconstruction of the violence that we often take for granted in superhero stories.
Who are you? I'm Kick-Ass.
Its sequel in 2013 doubled down on the brutality, but failed to capture the charm or wit of the original. The film follows Kick-Ass and Hit Girl as they go up against a team of vengeful wannabe supervillains with the help of fellow vigilantes inspired by Kick-Ass.
I know it's not much, but this is just the beginning. Together we can make a real difference.
Many critics pointed out that in its attempts to outdo the bombastic action of the first film, Kick-Ass 2 mostly ignored the satirical elements of the original and focused more on shock value. The film even faced criticism from its own cast when Jim Carrey publicly condemned the film for its excessive violence in the wake of real-world tragedies.
Let you in on a little secret.
Empty. Don't tell the bad guys.
Number 6, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. Zack Snyder's gritty reimagining of Superman divided fans and critics alike in 2013.
Why
are you surrendering to Zod?
I'm surrendering to mankind. There's a difference.
You let them handcuff you?
Wouldn't be much of a surrender if I resisted.
The next entry in his DC universe was bigger, bleaker, and far more convoluted. Despite offering a highly anticipated matchup between two of the biggest superheroes of all time, Batman vs. Superman failed to deliver on that promise.
Stay down! If I wanted it, you'd be dead already.
The film stumbled in its attempts to lay out a convincing conflict for its main heroes, while also frantically setting the stage for an eventual Justice League movie. The result is a depressing slog of a movie stuffed with mangled plot threads and baffling decisions. Batman kills people in this movie, and that alone is enough for this one to earn its spot on this list. Number 5, Blade Trinity. The first two Blade movies helped pave the way for modern superhero films. However, the franchise was clearly running on fumes in its third and final entry.
Faces all over the papers, television, media's eating it up.
Like I care.
Well, you should.
Blade Trinity saddles everyone's favorite daywalker with a team of fellow vampire hunters and pits them against Dracula and his army of bloodsuckers. Many critics called out the film's mediocre acting and its reliance on side characters.
Let's face it, we are fighting a losing battle here.
However, the biggest criticism leveled against Blade Trinity was its lack of new ideas for the franchise. The overwhelmingly negative critical response, as well as Wesley Snipes' alleged volatility on set, proved to be the final nail in the coffin for the series.
Blade. Ready to die.
I was born ready.
Number 4, Dark Phoenix. There are a handful of X-Men sequels that could have made this list, including the often maligned X-Men The Last Stand.
Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut, bitch!
However, 2019's Dark Phoenix deserves special credit for messing up the iconic Phoenix storyline for the second time in the franchise's history. Following up the underwhelming X-Men Apocalypse, the series attempted to take a more emotionally grounded direction as it depicted Jean Grey's struggle with the unstoppable Phoenix Force.
I don't know what's happening to me. I can't control it. I can't stay here, Scott. I need to.
The film's production was plagued with issues such as extensive reshoots, constantly shifting release dates, and Fox being subsumed by the cosmic entity known as Disney. By the time it was unceremoniously shuffled out into theaters, Dark Phoenix ended up marking another time the X-Men franchise had fizzled out instead of burning bright.
I know what I need to do now.
What is that?
Protect my family.
Number 3, Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance. The first Ghost Rider film wasn't exactly a critical darling when it was released in 2007.
Looking for someone.
Back to hell.
Its follow-up 4 years later didn't do much to improve on the original. Spirit of Vengeance sees Johnny Blaze tasked with protecting a young boy from the demon who granted the Rider his powers in the first film.
That happened.
A few critics argue that there's some enjoyment to be had in the film's wildly over-the-top action and Nicolas Cage's bonkers performance. For most, though, this sequel fell short of being so bad it's good and ended up being flat-out bad. Number 2, Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Christopher Reeve's portrayal of Superman is one of the most beloved depictions in film history, but that doesn't mean all his films are equal.
Gentlemen, one moment. I'd like all the people back there to know that our subway system is still the safest and most reliable means of public transportation. Thank you.
While many took issue with the goofier tone of Superman 3, the fourth entry in the series devolved into complete schlock. Reeves' last outing as Superman follows his attempt to end the nuclear arms race, which Lex Luthor takes advantage of to create yet another evil Superman clone.
First, I have fun.
The most common gripes about the movie are usually directed at its simplistic story and abysmal special effects, even for the time. Superman 4 was such a critical and financial disaster that it would be nearly 20 years before the Man of Steel got another shot at the big screen.
Whatever it is, I guess you got your reasons.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Batman and Robin. Listen, nobody is saying that Batman can never be silly. However, we can all agree that Batman and Robin took it too far.
That's a utility belt, not a money belt. 6 million.
7 million. Never leave the cave without it.
The fourth and final entry in the original Batman film series saw George Clooney don the Batsuit to face off against a horde of iconic foes alongside Robin and Batgirl. The colorful production design makes the whole movie look like a theme park attraction, and the film is so overstuffed with characters that they all get reduced to grown-worthy quips.
Stay cool, bird boy.
All of this leads to a film that feels more like a toy commercial than an actual movie. Batman and Robin isn't just the worst superhero sequel ever made, it's one of the worst blockbusters to ever see the light of day.
Is your thumb the only part of you that's green?
You will just have to find out.
I want us to be together, but I want to make sure you're serious about turning over a new leaf. I need a sign.
How about slippery when wet?
Did we miss any superhero sequels that left you feeling defeated? Be sure to leave a comment down below.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.